Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company podcast. I'm Dane Hennen. To my right, Levi Gates.
What's up, dudes?
And to my left, Anthony Fisher.
What's going on, guys?
That's right. We are the Rag Company podcast. You're home for, what, bad jokes, detailing stuff, car things. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We cover a lot of bases.
Point is, Dane, you sent Anthony a overland build trailer.
I did.
Made out of an old Toyota pickup bed.
Why not top off the whole discussion
here?
here?
It was $6,000. That is not a good deal.
By mentioning
not a good deal at all.
That on Facebook, we have what we call the Rag Company podcast discussion group. And
yeah, we do.
That's where we kind of like, we cultivate ideas that wind up here on the podcast.
I think they're great ideas.
We share random like Facebook Marketplace posts where like,
jars.
that's a cool thing.
Yes.
Monster Suburbans.
Yeah. So you're big into truck bed trailers.
Chevy Berettas.
Yes. You are in love with your truck bed trailer, and we were all
quite
just
possibly the best thing to come out of 2020.
Right.
Honestly.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty low bar. But in the case of truck bed trailers, yeah, there's a lot of options out there, but not much in the way of JDM ones. At least normally when you're thinking about it, you don't
it's
see
because
too many.
they make small, what do they call small trucks? They don't build large, powerful brutes like Rams,
Chevrolets, not until recently. But
Fords.
I have terms that I can use for those type of vehicles, but I will not get into those.
That's very nice of you.
These are just, these are not a Tacoma, right? When, like I've said this before, when women think of big, sexy trucks, right? The last thing that comes into their head is Toyota Tacoma.
Well, you got to remember, one of the hard parts about the Tacoma is the lack of bed space. You know? Unlike Green Bean, we'll take for example, Green Bean, perfect. 1970s Americana, 8-foot long bed.
Wow.
I can put a whole 4x8 sheet of plywood in the bed of the truck if I want to.
If you want, you have that option.
I can literally go to Home Depot, take a massive board and put it in there. 8 feet long. It'll fit inside the bed. I don't have to put the flag hanging out.
And you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Get that 10, 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15 feet, which is crazy.
It's a little scary, but I could put it on the roof of the Suburban if I wanted to because I have all that length as well as the Z71.
Just don't take any sharp corners.
Exactly. And I understand exactly what you're saying.
But
because
let's say you have something.
I have a 6-foot 2 bed in the Dodge Ram. And so I'm actually able to comfortably lay down with the tailgate closed within that bed, right? And that's not even the long bed version. That's the standard bed, which is pretty crazy.
Very nice.
Dane, how long is your bed?
It is 5'5", so yeah, much shorter.
How tall are you?
I am 5'8".
Okay.
So I would not fit without dropping the tailgate.
If we take 3 inches off the top, right, you should be able to lay down in there comfortably.
If you drop the tailgate, it becomes a 6-foot bed.
I can let you borrow Green Bean for camping excursions if you need to.
I bought my truck because it suits my needs. I'm not hauling around all that massive stuff like you guys are.
Okay.
So, I mean, if the day comes, well, I'll come knocking. But the whole point was I was working my way towards this very cool trailer that we found that you said cost $6,000. Yes, sounds like a lot.
It's very well built.
It when you initially hear it's a trailer made out of a Toyota pickup bed from the 70s, and you're like,
now
I don't know about that.
Does have onboard water, onboard electricity.
Yeah.
The guy has converted it with all types of switches.
Full on Overlander gear, custom homemade, but like not chintzy. It's actually impressive what a great job this guy did. But
he will sell it to you for $1,000 less if you don't take the tent.
Right, because those rooftop tents are stupid expensive.
But it's still a $5,000 trailer where you could buy a perfectly built overland trailer.
You could buy a full Toyota pickup from that generation.
Do you know what you can buy for $6,000?
You could buy you could buy the trailer that the Gabe just bought.
Yeah, Gabe just bought a full camper. A full-on camper. I'm talking like...
Is it like a 12 or 14
No,
foot?
I think he said it was 17 or 18 feet.
What?
And this has got 3 beds in it, a full-size bathroom, right?
Kitchen.
It's got a kitchen. It's got everything you want.
Much better deal.
$6,000. I'm like, yep, I would take that over still... grunging it anyway.
Well, this also, because naturally, as a fan of the finer things, when looking at, obviously I'm dressed to, impress. But
you have a very expensive flannel or sweatshirt on. So,
but in the case of like travel trailers and stuff, of course, I have this problem where I'm always drawn to the thing, and then I look at the price tag and go, oh, I wasn't drawn to it because it was expensive. But I always find out that it is expensive because eye for design takes me this way. It's like I like Airstreams and all that stuff. And then when I went to look at what the cheapest, smallest Airstream trailer costs, my jaw still hit the floor.
Yeah. So let's take this to shift gears, talk about camping. So ideal dream travel trailer or camping situation. You know, we've got Next Day Nate rocking the 4-wheeler's camper that is mounted in the bed of his Tacoma, which is a pop-out.
Extraordinaire.
Well, because Next Day Nate, he says the way he likes to camp is he likes to find a spot, make his own camp.
Right, yeah. He goes, I don't care if humans have ever been here. I'm going to be
as long as my truck will fit,
my way.
I'll get there. So that's where he likes going. He's not like a campground kind of thing. Now,
right, yeah.
I could do that, but do I want to? No, not really. I like having a fire pit. I like being able to just, walk down and take a hot shower if I need to, or wash my hands, or just have a space for my children to play, because honestly, they're the hardest thing about camping because they, for some reason, can't entertain themselves sometimes. They're getting better at it.
Yeah.
But so I'm okay with going to campsites, checking some stuff out. But you guys, what would you be? Would you buy a trailer? Would you do a tent? Would you do air mattresses? What kind of? I want to hear your camping style, and then maybe our listeners can post some of their like vision boards.
Tell us about it. This is the time of season
on the
when
TRC,
people are getting their last
group.
camping trips in. But yeah, I mean, what you've done versus what you would like to do, I think, is a good way to frame it.
There.
So what have you done, and what would you ideally like to do if it was your choice every time you went camping?
There we go. Good question.
Nice. You guys are asking me.
I'm asking
you.
you.
Guys are asking me.
I want to know what the two of you guys already know about the MOSHQ camping solution package.
Right, yeah, we know all about
which is the tent trailer with dual king-size beds, as well as a dinette that slide-out dinette. Quite delightful.
Luxurious, spacious.
Gives you lots of space. Very nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I don't really need a whole lot. And before you're like, Anthony, of course you need a lot. I only need a couple things, a couple important things to me, right?
Those golden boys.
So I need something with a bathroom in it, right? So something, something to do
for yourself,
to do the thing,
personal,
right?
Personal bathroom.
Just to get stuff done, right?
Okay. You realize in a camping situation, if you're talking about it in a trailer, you do have to dump it yourself.
Absolutely, and I'm willing to deal with that.
Just
right?
making sure.
I'm willing to deal with that. I mean, honestly, all you need to do is you run a hose, pop that thing open, just drive down the road. Right?
No, that is not allowed.
Sorry, I didn't know if that was not okay.
You're gonna be people watching it. Make sure you don't do that.
I need a bathroom, right? I would love to have some type of free-flowing water. I don't need a full-on shower, but just something to wash my arms and legs off, because you get camping dirt on your legs and stuff, and my hair on my legs tends to hold on to that stuff, and I can't put my legs into a sleeping bag feeling that.
I understand.
It's like a weird OCD thing. So
no, I have that same thing. We did that. We have a 5-gallon jug of water that we set up. We get a washcloth. We get it wet. And then wash our legs off before we get in the...
Yep, exactly what I would do, right? So something with some free-flowing water. If I had a shower, amazing. I'm not really that picky in terms of like a bed situation, as long as I have a mattress and it's covered, right? I want a covered situation.
Okay.
So really, I think what I would want is a toy hauler. A small toy hauler situation.
They put some motorcycles, some dirt bikes, some four-wheelers.
So I could throw a Grom in the back.
Are we talking open, or are we talking one of those camping trailers that has a garage in the back?
Kind of one of those.
Now,
but
they
it doesn't
do make
have to
tent
be
trailers that have a front parking area.
That's right. They got the cage.
Here's the other thing. If I have a preference, if I can get away from anything tent involved, right, I'm happy. Anything canvas involved, I want something hard, because I also one of those people, right, where the wind blows and I see the tent pieces moving, and I'm like, what is that, right?
You're worried that's
what
like
is
a
that?
serial killer.
It's going through his
bear.
mind. He's like, I'm so vulnerable now.
And
some creature comes out of the woods.
Well, it's the only thing that's keeping me from whatever the hell's on the other side of that thing.
Right. You want some aluminum and some wood.
Is the suggestion of a barrier.
Is this thin piece of fabric with a hole in it, right? And I've been in those situations before, and it's not ideal, right? I'd like a nice, hard, protective
some security,
barrier.
some safety.
Exactly what I want. So I'm thinking, get something like that. Between me and that, I'm going to be much happier. And so...
And if you get something nice, Katie will also enjoy that.
No, she likes tent camping though.
Oh, she's more of the rough side.
She loves that, dude. I think she would sleep in a hammock just hanging in the trees.
Well, you can get her hammock. Those are like $20.
Yeah, and she would be happy doing that. I'm just I'm not a fan of bugs. Right?
That always felt like needlessly brave.
I'm not a fan of bugs.
People do it that way.
The thing is, I like the day and the nights of camping. Right, when you're out there enjoying a fire. I like when you're out there making food in the morning. That's like some of my favorite stuff. I love that. There's all the other little things that just tend to add up with time, and so but yeah, that, and then I would say maybe some type of music package, right? Because that's
like
the one
Bluetooth
thing.
Speaker.
But no, what I would do is I'd put some speaker system.
They make those on the outside. Some of those have them. Yeah.
And I would have it kind of hang down, and I'd want some pretty good lighting, right? That's another big thing when it comes to camping is like you're always, I want good lighting, and so I do some type of lighting feature on there, and man, that would be pretty dang nice. I think.
So that's like your dream idea of what you would do.
If one of these days, we should probably just go to Camping World and just maybe record us looking at campers.
That's an idea.
Well, some of the ideas I can ask, and I can go up to each person and they can say, "Hey, so do you think that this would fit on the back of that thing over there?" And I point over the Dodge, right?
So like proud.
And they're going to be like, "Yeah, we can make that work. We can make that work." Well, what do you think about fitting this one on the back of that, sir? That's a 45-footer.
That's a fifth wheel.
I don't know if that's going to go.
How big's your motor
on the back of that? And I said, "What's
it's already slow? It doesn't
I'm like,
need
it's a 5.2 318 Magnum, baby." I'm like, I also put a leveling kit on the back. Let's go ahead and max this thing out, right?
That sounds like a great idea.
Oh wow!
So Dane, tell us your idea.
So like as a kid, when we were camping, spent a lot of time in tent trailers.
Yep.
A lot of familiarity with the tent trailer experience, camping in tents. At one point, there was a brief period for like 2 years where we did have like a big like 24-foot trailer, and it had like bunk beds in the back.
Did Ragnarok pull it?
We went to Yellowstone and
did Ragnarok pull it?
No, this is pre-Ragnarok. So this was the Suburban we had before
prior
that.
to Ragnarok.
Yeah. So this was this was a 2500, but a 1995 or 6 model. So
nasty.
Still great truck. 454.
Ooh.
Yep. Good truck. And we went to Yellowstone in it, watched Jurassic Park 2 in there, like on a little 13-inch TV in the corner, like just cozy up while a storm was going outside.
Oh, very nice.
I know it seems funny, like, oh, you're out in nature and you're watching TV. It's like, yeah, but there's just something fun about the experience.
When you're that age and you can watch I remember like
and iPads weren't a thing.
Right.
Our phones weren't a thing
I remember
at the time. This is 1997.
I went to McCall and my uncle had a big 40-foot fifth wheel that he would tow with his big block Ford. And it was raining one day all day, and so we stayed in his trailer because my dad had brought like our little tent trailer, and my uncle had a 13-inch TV with a VCR, and we went into town and rented a movie. And it was always those
built tents. It's a little box, and it's just got the VHS player right below the screen.
Yeah,
and you just
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah. So that was fun. But I've had a variety of like camping experiences all the way from small to the large trailer. And when I started doing it myself, it started with the tents. And then when I got my Honda Element, I absolutely loved camping in that because everything could fold flat. I could take the rear seats out, turned it into essentially like a little mini RV. Now, what a lot of people know, like Honda Elements or own them, they know the groups. They can get those like Volkswagen roof. Westphalia style. They call them e-camper tops. And it's like a carbon fiber conversion. It costs like $5,000 or $6,000. And it's basically all this carbon fiber construction. They cut a hole in your roof. They do all this stuff, and then it's a company called Ursa Minor.
Yeah,
and you put your it's basically becomes a Volkswagen Westie, but more reliable. But the idea behind it was appealing. I never got to that point. So what a lot of people do is they look for a used Element that already has it and see if they could buy it for cheaper. But those people always want a lot for it.
So you want an Element with a Westphalia top on it.
I love the idea.
Is it a hole in the floorboard or a hole in the roof?
It's in the roof.
Could you put an extra hole in the floorboard for if you wanted to create a toilet?
I'm sure. It is front wheel drive.
I'm sure you could dig. You could just cut a hole.
Drive
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking you can just
put a
toilet
cut a
on
hole.
Top of that. We put a toilet on the top of that, right? And all we need to do is fill the back up with water, so it has the flushing mechanism going for it, right?
Excuse me.
And then we just straight up take a little caulk, right? Set the toilet on top of the hole, caulk it around, seal it in.
Get some hooks, some command hooks.
Okay.
So you can hang like a plastic bag underneath the hole.
Oh no.
That way you could.
Oh no, you just dump it
This
wherever
is
you're
terrible.
at.
Okay, I'm just saying that
This
way.
is awful.
If you're at one of those sites that you need to capture it,
No.
you just put it in a bag.
What
throw
kind
it
of
in
None
the
of
trash.
this is good.
No, you just let it go, man.
So
while you're on the road, drop it.
having been in a variety of different camping situations, my ideal one, I love the idea of car camping, but like maybe with like a Class A type motorhome where it's like a converted van kind of thing.
Okay.
I like the van life idea where it's like you can take it places. It's not a separate vehicle that attaches to your vehicle, but it's something you take with you.
So there's a lot of those converted vans at the junkyard.
Oh yeah, there's plenty. Like a lot of those, you know,
you go
like
get one of those.
Savannahs and E-classes and stuff.
Delightful.
Yeah, they get run out. But obviously, my tastes are more along the lines of like a Volkswagen van again, or an Element, or something like that. That's appealing. Or I go the expensive route. I like those Airstream converted Sprinters.
Here we go.
Which is
let's
more
say
glamping
we do a TRC
than anything,
camping trip, right? We go up, let's just say next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Just for old time's sake here, just let's follow this train of thought. We go up, right? I'm taking the tent trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John's taking his new fifth wheel, right?
Yeah.
Gabe taking up the new trailer, right? What are you guys taking? What are you doing? Let's say you had to have a trailer right now, tomorrow. What would you do? Or what is your camping solution? Next day, Nate's bringing the Tacoma with the pop-up on the back.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of the
What would you do? Let's just say you're bringing you and Katie, you're bringing Liz, you're bringing the dogs. How are you
I wouldn't bring the
building
dogs.
that? Okay, so you leave your dogs at home because they're
dogs are for camping, man.
No,
it depends on the dog.
No, it depends on my room. So at this situation, I am not equipped to be able to have.
Okay, but just if you had something going, what would you do? What would be your game plan?
Man, I don't know. I'd probably try to build some type of apparatus onto the back of the Dodge Ram 1500.
I like that.
Right? Some type of
sleeping platform of
some type of sleeping platform. I'd probably go get just a bunch of 2x4s and lay them down, and then I would literally just set up the tent on top of that. Maybe like a sheet of plywood or something like that.
To make it go
and
over,
then just make it go over, right? And then so we'd sleep on top, right? And then we'd have storage underneath, right? Because I have the bed liner, right? And so not the worst thing in the world. We set up the tent on top of that. I think that tent I have
fit in that 6 foot.
God, dude, I think it's only like a 6 by. It's probably like a 7 by 4 or something like that, or no, it's longer than that. 7 by 5, 7 by 6, whatever it was. Basically, I could build something on top of this platform, right? Yeah. Build a comfortable tent situation, and basically be lifted, not just above
off the ground,
but off the ground, and because I installed the new leveling kit as well as my 33-inch tires. So I'll be sitting possibly higher than most of everybody.
Now, one of the things you do need to remember is you're going to have to bring some extra 2x4s and things to level the truck.
That doesn't matter.
Because you don't want to be sleeping with your head.
I'll just switch positions and just lay in the most comfortable position. I know most people care about that kind of stuff. I personally believe that little bit of blood rushing to your head kind of gets the spirit going.
Okay, all right. I like that idea, though. Got some room for storage. Got everything ready, but then also make a sleeping platform. I like that idea. Very nice. Dane.
Oh, that's a solid option. I think I would go with the very quick and practical choice, which is get myself a truck bed tent. Get one of those. Nice setup. Get a large one. Fold down the tailgate. Make sure it's one of the large ones. Yeah, but see, when you fold down the tailgate, you got extra space.
Well,
so when you do this,
we're looking cost here. I mean, you're going to go drop $800 on this tent.
Well, yeah, but this is for this truck that I'm going to hold on to for a while. So you
You'll
put it there.
Pack it away.
I can fit it. I'm not that tall a guy, and Liz is tall, but with the tailgate down, she'll fit too.
Okay.
And it's basically a matter of get the large tent for the smallish bed. Make sure it's just arranged nicely.
I like that.
Have perhaps some we can create maybe an extension or something.
What about building a cabin on the back of your Tacoma? If you just built a whole cabin.
See, but you said next weekend, so I need something that can happen quick.
Okay,
so
well, you're right.
The idea with this is basically
you get it on Amazon, 1-day shipping.
I would fold the back seats up. I would put Callie in the cab, and I open the back window so that she could communicate with us when she wants to go outside. And
she just jump through the window and pull the rest of the window.
Dude, that window's so tiny in the back.
It doesn't stop her before.
No, well, any rate, that would be a very easy arrangement I could do.
I like that idea though.
Store what I need in the cab.
The Tacoma's got the fold down seats, so she's got a nice area.
It's a flat load floor.
So she can hang out there.
And I would have some roof rack stuff arranged for any gear I wanted to bring. It would be up on top of the roof. So not that big a deal.
I like this.
I think it would be fairly simple to do. So I wouldn't overcomplicate it. I
like
can totally
this idea,
go the rugged, way, but having the nicer, fancier camping stuff is nice too. It's fun. So if I had it up to me, I would love to find one of those like 17 or 18 foot Airstream trailers, like maybe a little older, a little something, and then just like remodeled inside or something. I just love those things. They look so
gorgeous.
cool. Love them. So yeah, if I got a trailer, I would definitely be looking for like an Airstream that wasn't outlandishly expensive. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I dig that. Yeah.
So my future next goal after this little tent trailer is to get a nice 22, 24 foot hard side, standard pull with bunk beds. That's my goal. Is to have a couple bunk beds for the kids. Just, maybe next year or the year after, get to a point where I can get something like that.
Yeah.
But currently, the little tent trailer's been working great. Biggest thing is I got to get that heater fixed because it's going to get cold. Yeah. Well, if you guys knew that, but if we'll be camping next weekend, it's going to be cold. So
it seems like the number one thing to
fight.
You
just bring the fire inside the trailer.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Sure.
Yeah. Yep. No, having the bigger trailer is nice. The only complaint we ever had with it was just finding places to park it. That was mainly it. Other than that, it was great.
You guys have that pickleball court.
Well, no, we're talking like when we lived in Sequim, Washington. We had this brown house out in the woods, and it was basically we had like a whole RV side. It wasn't paved or anything; it was just gravel. But the trailer would fit there. But then after that, it's like okay, wherever we go, it's not going to have this big of a space to park.
You got to find a parking spot.
We were blessed with a lot of space there.
Yeah. No, as a child, right? I think it was my early. No, I was probably 10, 12-ish, right? My parents, they did buy a 36-footer, right? A full-on RV, right? And they bought it was called the Lazy Days. That's what they called it, right?
Yeah.
And it was pretty old, but they got it for like a pretty good deal.
Anthony.
They didn't pay a whole lot for it, but
I'm assuming it was a puller, not a pusher.
It was yes, yeah. So it was its own vehicle.
Well, no, what I mean is puller versus pusher means the motor's in the front or the back. If it's a pusher, it's in the back.
Like Ivan's bus.
That is a diesel pusher.
Yeah. So this was motors in the front. It was a Ford, some Ford platform, right?
Gas?
But gas. And so
that gas mileage must
have
been.
My dad's motorhome has the 8.1 in it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great gas mileage, but they bought it, right? They bought it because they wanted to do more fun stuff, right? And so we went on a couple road trips. We went and did, several different things. We went through the Oregon coast, through California, all those different places, and did fun stuff. But I remember pretty vividly, it was probably a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. We took a road trip in that thing, and it was a ton of fun. That was a very uncomfortable thing to sleep in. You had the bed above the cab, right? You had two beds in the rear. Then you had your bed in your kind of your coffee table bed.
So you had a bed above the cab. That means this is probably a C-class then, where it has basically a van front end, but then it has the shell come up and over.
Yep, that's exactly what it was, right?
C-class. Yeah.
So like the rear beds were two twins, right? And so I remember my sister, she was 6, 7, right? And we're driving down the road. We were hitting such massive bumps. She was sleeping on the twin-size bed. She was getting about 3 to 4 feet of air, right? She was flying up in the air, right? Landing back down, sound asleep, right? You couldn't wake her up, right? So she was bouncing in the back like her hair literally had hang time as she was up in the air. We were dying laughing. And then I remember my baby brother, because he was only 3, right?
Yeah.
My parents kept talking about how they were trying to look for I-5, right? Yeah. And my brother's sitting in the back, right, holding his hand out like this, right, yelling I-5, thinking they're saying high five. So he's holding his hand out like high five, and my parents, they were really against me bringing any type of video games or Game Boy, whatever it was. But they said,
must be why he brings the Switch everywhere.
They said while we were driving, right? They said I was able to play. I can play video games.
Oh.
So me being a very
it was the first of the
what did you have
travel
solution? Because I had a Game Boy Pocket back
So
then.
what we're talking really is V1 of the travel solution entertainment package.
This was V1, right? And so my parents are like, hey, we're okay with you gaming on the road, right?
All right.
Most people would have brought like their Game Boy with them, right? I think I had a Game Boy Advance, or I think it was an SP at that time frame, right? And so
I just had a Pocket.
Damn, well the pockets came out in like '94.
I know, that's all we had.
Oh, jeez, okay. Well, then there was the Color, then there was the Advance, and there was SP. I'm pretty sure I had something like that, right? But I said, you know what, guys, I'm not bringing the Game Boy. And they're like, that's awesome, Anthony. We're so happy for you. I'm like, instead, I'm bringing a TV and my PlayStation, right? So
you're like, I'm in a motorhome. I'm gonna feel like I'm at home.
So we didn't even own it. We didn't even own a small TV, right? I had to borrow one from my friend. I said, hey, can I use your small TV for my road trip? And he's like, yeah, you could have it. So it was the same thing. TV with the cassette player, right?
Okay, so like a 13, 14-inch TV.
Oh, Dane, no, I'm talking the screen was like 6-7 inches, right? It was
okay,
like
that's
probably
ridiculously small.
It was
Because normally
yeah.
they were like, okay,
It was
you
like
could
12
have them like
inches.
this or even smaller.
It was a tube. It was still like a tube.
Yeah,
small
where it's
TV,
a CRT.
right?
Yeah.
And so small TV had.
Remember playing multiplayer on a split screen on a TV that small? That was
I remember. So 3 RCAs, right? You have yellow, red, and so I had everything plugged in. And so when I basically was bringing everything in the trailer, my parents were like, "What is that? What are you bringing inside here?" I'm like, "Oh, this is just some of my stuff. I told you I wasn't going to bring my Game Boy." And they're like, "We didn't think you were going to bring like the whole damn entertainment system," right? So I had like this TV set up.
Your dad's got to like run the generator while you're driving to power on this.
They did. I swear to God. So basically, like, why? So I had my PlayStation in and everything. And so on the road, we were driving for like 7-8 hours a day, right? And some of the sceneries were pretty bland.
Yeah.
So I just remember sitting there. I was playing Chrono Trigger on PlayStation
Chrono
1.
Trigger,
And I beat it during that entire trip. I just gamed so much. But whenever we would park, right, and so we would set up camp, right, my dad was like, "Okay, you have to turn that off, or I have to turn the generator on." And I'd be like, "Can you please turn the generator on just so I can keep playing?" So he would run it for like 30 minutes and he'd be like, "You're done. That's it. I'm not wasting any more gas on you, right?" He's like, "Get out and enjoy."
Your
the
options
fresh
are we
air.
can either not make it to our destination or you can play your game.
So I just thought it was the funniest thing because they were so happy. Like, that's so nice. You're not going to bring your Game Boy and go play your Pokemon games, whatever it is. I'm like, guys, no, it's fine. I'm just gonna bring the whole damn game system, and then it'll really be fine. And so that was really fun.
That's awesome. That sounds like something my little brother would have done.
So yeah, guys, tell us about your camping stories and what you would do in both a dream camping scenario versus maybe what you've already done before in the Rag Company podcast discussion group on Facebook.
There we go.
All right, moving on.
What did you guys do this weekend?
Oh man. So my weekend started off pretty chill. Basically, what I wanted to start knocking out was I wanted to get the Civic kind of fixed up and cleaned up a little bit. Didn't wash it, but what I ended up having to do is I had to do an oil change on it. Had to basically just kind of go through some maintenance stuff. So I did an oil change. I had to grease up some of the camber kits were making some weird squeaking sounds. I was telling you, it's kind of feeling kind of clunky lately. So I went through everything, made sure everything was sitting pretty, put new oil in it, and it's running sweet. It's running good. No issues. The RAM has started to go figure, right? When I finished it, right? It has acquired a new noise, right? So Friday night, what I ended up doing was I put a new leather front seat on it, right? So I did the new seat cover, had to remove the old cushion, removed everything, unwrapped everything. I've never dealt with hog rings before. Those suck.
Gotta use hog ring pliers?
I had I used normal pliers because I didn't have hog ring pliers.
No wonder he had a bad time.
I was going like this with two sets of pliers, yanking it. Very dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And so
It's like you're trying to get hurt.
pretty much. And so took out the old hog rings, put the new cover on, put the new hog rings in, got it all bolted up. It looks awesome, feels awesome. It's vinyl, it's not leather, and so and it kind of matches, but it doesn't really match. It's fine.
Not really.
And then it's called a company called Dash Skin makes these dash shells. It's a complete piece that covers your existing dash, right? So it's not
hard.
It's not a dash. It's a cover, but it is a hard ABS cover that's painted to perfect match. And
Interesting.
So basically, what I did. Took off the old mat, right? Took that off, cleaned everything with isopropyl alcohol. Tried not to put any more holes in my dash because, guys, that thing is disintegrating. Like it is straight up. Like I think if I were to do
They're famous for
one solid fist hit on that, and I remembered the reason why it's probably so bad right now is because it lived in Arizona for almost 10 years.
Oh yeah, that would.
That's why. I mean, that's it. That's it.
Sun.
Question: how does it stay on there? How does it attach?
So this cap, right? Honestly, you could just set the cap on, and it sits and fits so perfectly, it wouldn't come off. It's not impossible for it to come off, right? But they give you silicone with it. So basically, what you do, you flip it over, go over the whole thing with silicone, cover all the things, set it on the existing dash, and then what you need to do is take a bunch of heavy books and things and set it on there,
and press them,
and then just press it on there, and then just let it sit overnight. So I did that. Let it sit. Woke up the next morning. I was like, dude, looking good. But that's when I went to go start up the truck. And I noticed when I started it up, it's making kind of like a high-pitched whistling sound, right? And it's
What's
because
that, turbo?
Well, and it sounds like a turbo. I'm not even kidding. So it's pretty high pitched whistling. It's not a belt, right?
Well, those
not
are the
an
whistles. Those turbo whistles you put in the exhaust.
It's not an exhaust leak.
No,
or
it's
something
not an
like that?
exhaust leak. It's some kind of induction sound happening probably around the intake manifold area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after the truck warms up, it goes away.
And I vacuum leak kind of thing.
Oh.
So it would what you would
Kind of
think,
thing,
right?
yeah.
So what I kind of realized, I'm like, you know what? It's finally getting cold at night, so what could be happening is there could be a gasket or something like that that's shrinking and expanding as the truck gets hot and cold.
Elantra's doing the same thing.
And so I need to probably eventually go through and find out where that leak's coming from. It's just at this point I'm kind of done working on the truck stuff
for a little bit. You want to take a couple weeks?
I've gone too hard in the paint, basically, and I'm ready to be done with it.
Yeah.
I also ended up washing Katie's car, finally getting that thing cleaned up. So finally, the Sonax, the Sonax spray and seal has started to die.
Yeah.
How many months has it been on there?
Dude, that you guys tell me that
almost a year.
That was on there for
That's
like
on there
almost.
for a long
That was
time.
like almost for I think well over a year.
But the water
And
behavior is finally starting to.
the water behavior on the
fade.
roof finally just it flattened out on the hood. Certain spots are flattening out on the sides. It was still looking pretty good, but I'm kind of figuring out what I need to figure out what to do because I could either just continue just doing a bead maker topper on it. I could hit it with some crystal sealant. I can hit it with C2V3. I can kind of keep it maintained. I was thinking keeping it maintained, and then once we own it, right, the lease is over and we buy it out, is that when I start polishing up and fixing it? Or do I polish it up, fix it, ceramic coat it, do everything now? It's just, I don't know.
You might want to, well, I don't know if it makes a difference with the dealership if you polish it beforehand and go, look what great condition it's in. So when you do your buyout, you basically get a better appraised value for it and stuff.
I have no idea. You're
I
right.
don't know because I've never done that.
I don't know how that works.
Somebody who knows, tell us.
I know most people they clean them up.
Yeah.
Because
the biggest thing
you
is
always
talk about lease
scratches.
returns.
The biggest thing is scratches, and the goal is you want to maximize the value when you do that lease return.
That's why I got a silver truck.
Yeah, you want to and black interior.
Yeah,
but it's to maximize the value of the car, so when you turn it back in, it looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I don't know how that works. If it maximizes the value when you go to buy it.
Because I think when you lease it,
they're going to say, you took really good care of it. We're going to charge you more. What? You can't do that legally?
Hold up.
Legally?
I want to buy that. Well, it's actually worth this much.
So,
but I owe this.
As I understand
I think if you buy it out, it's just what you owe.
When you do the lease return,
I don't think you have to take it back
they tell you at
to
the
them.
beginning of your lease that, okay, this is going to be your payoff amount. This is going to be your buyout. And
I don't think they even have to see it, to be honest.
I don't think they have to see it.
I think
they just know on paper what.
I think they contact you and they say, "Hey, you want to buy this out, or do you want to return it back to us?"
All I know is you and me will probably have actual positive equity in our vehicles when it comes buyout time.
Well, I was looking. Her car has 16,000 miles on it now, and she's had it for 2 years, and so she's put 8,000 on it a year. Her allowance is like 36,000 miles, and so I'm guessing probably by next year she'll probably be in the low 20s, and so then we'll buy it out. And but I just need to figure out what to do because I'm cleaning it. It's cleaning up fine. It's looking pretty good. I ended up using liquidators, right, to dry everything off, right. These are liquidators that are they've been part of the testing process.
Ooh, correct.
Right, that
Those
I
ones
have
were
been
haggard,
that I have been putting through, and the liquidators. The previous time I'd used them, I had used so much bead maker. I can't even tell you how much bead maker I used.
Some of them we
those
just
towels.
soaked in bead maker.
It was just an insane
it's all
amount
part
of
of the
bead maker,
testing.
right?
It's nothing. Bounced
I
right off.
washed them with this special process, right? Special process, and I was drying Katie's car, and I was like, "Oh my God, we've done it. We've done the
Have
thing.
we finally
right?
cracked the
We've
code?
done the thing." I'm
I
like,
found some old drying towels. Use this process.
Yeah.
Use them to dry my cars.
Same experience.
Oh, beautiful. One of those things where I thought this towel is dead.
Well, yeah, because plenty
This
of
towel
people
is dead.
Yeah.
have that situation where they forgot to take care of a towel in time, and now it's dead. But
I was
if you could bring that back,
amazed.
imagine how happy people
No, I
would
was
be.
so pumped, and so I'm like drying off her whole car, and like, because basically when I would have like a really hydrophobic towel, I would maybe get like it wouldn't get the full effect of the towel. So I'd have to use like 2 twistresses in the case where normally I'd just be able to use 1.
Yeah.
And now it was like the whole liquidator did the entire
finish that and get going on the ram.
Oh yeah, I did the entire 4Runner and it still had more left in it. And I was just so happy that we finally have done the right thing. And so you guys will find out more. Patience.
Oh, I know. They're chomping at the bit.
So, but yeah, so did that. And then I think Sunday was a pretty chill day. Did stuff around the house. Went out, took the ram out for a drive, went out cruising in that thing, did
like you do on a Sunday.
Did some stuff. Did some stuff, and then actually took the Evo out for a drive as well. Took that out for a decent.
Pulled the Dane, drove all your vehicles.
Wow.
Pulled it out for a decent.
Good move.
Pulled out for a decent
Keep
spin.
Those fluids circulating.
Circulate those
cycling.
fluids.
Yeah, I've took it out for a decent spin, and I mean, really detailing wise, I mean, everything has been really maintained. I don't really have anything major to do.
Does it get dusty in your new garage?
No, it's not that bad. No, not that bad. I just need to I need to get the Civic dialed in. I need to figure out that and figure out when I'm going to have time. And I think at the end of October here, Katie's taking a trip. She's actually going to Mexico for a couple days. And I think that during that weekend, I'm going to go all in. I think I'm going to do a full exterior decon.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to get that Civic looking spotless. And then, because it just needs to be protected. Every time I look at the paint, I think of how old this paint is getting and how it's only a matter of days until I walk out and I'm like, oh, there's the sign of major clear coat failure.
So what's on it right now? Beadmaker or something else?
C2V3 is on it right now. And so,
how's inspiration? I'm trying to remember. Did you end up?
It's done.
Okay.
It's done. Yeah. The inspiration was done, and then I did the crystal sealant application.
But it lasted a while before.
Yeah. No, it did. It did last. It was amazing. Honestly, if I were to do it again, I would double up on the inspiration. But I really want to try the CSL Exo combo on that car and see how that's going to hold up. With using toppers and stuff. And so, so that was a big thing. And then new chain on the Triumph. Got a new chain installed yesterday.
Very nice.
Well, you were explaining how dangerous it is if you don't change it.
Yeah, no, my chain, it's a 10-year-old chain. O-rings are shot on it. It just wasn't feeling right. And so took it down last night. Got it. And go figure, this is my luck, right? New chain. Go to drive it home, right? The new chains come with lube, right? But they come with like the most crude version of lube ever, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like off-brand KY. It is not good stuff, right? And so basically,
if you're Anthony Fisher, you don't use name brand.
Yeah. So this
here's a graphite. Just kidding. It's chalk.
This lube flung all over the bike, right? So on just the drive home, I was a dummy. I should have said on my last chain I did, right? I just took a towel and just wiped off the excess, right? Since I had a shop do it because they were riveting it on, I was like, don't worry about it. I'll do it when I get home, right? Got home, whole bike is covered in wax and lube. And it was the thick stuff, right? Or you go to wipe it and it just smears. Right? So I was using OptiClean. I was using O&R, and it just kept smearing and smearing and
as
smearing.
If you just had Vaseline all over the whole bike.
And I'm like, I don't want to use anything really caustic or harsh because the bike's coated. Everything should come off pretty easily, but it just kept smearing and smearing. And I didn't use tar and glue.
Lacquer thinner.
Didn't use lacquer thinner. So I ended up using a mixture of it was Power Clean at 10-1, right? I sprayed it on first. And then followed it up with Uber rinseless wash. I had a thing mix of Uber, and I went over that. It looked fine. It's okay. But let's just say that
would panel wipe have done anything?
Oh yeah, panel wipe would have stripped.
That's what I thought. I was
Dane.
like, that could be kind of effective.
It was like one of those where I'm like, it's a lot, but it's like I am so lazy right now. I don't even want to deal with this. Like this is just not my. This is not my
that's
cup
why I
of
would have
tea.
used panel wipe and just be like, be done.
Yeah, so I got it figured out. But let's just say I definitely put some love marks on the rear cowling area because I was just. Because you have to think that chain wax, right?
Yeah.
Now has collected all that dirt and dust, right? Now it's flowing up on the paint. Now you have dirt encapsulated in some type of greasy product that you go to wipe that the towel is not picking it up. So it's just let's rub all that in. Right now I'm like perfect black motorcycle. Yep, keep doing it. But I've already told myself, no matter what Mars or no matter what happened on that bike from now on, after it's been coated with CSU, leave it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. No point. What am I going to do? I'm going to polish out the CSU just to top it off with CSL or try to acquire more CSU.
Just leave it.
It's not worth it. I'm just gonna leave it, man. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but it just I'm gonna cause too much pain. Leave it. Dane, what did you do this weekend?
Not a lot, but that's our camping kind of filled in the space where I'd normally be talking about my weekend. I didn't get up to a whole lot. I actually decided lazier weekend than my usual lazy weekends, but I did go out for a drive, among other things. Just I was on an architecture kick. For whatever reason, I just felt like
my God,
looking
Dane,
at
before you begin, I found a neighborhood yesterday. It is a Dane neighborhood in a weird place that you wouldn't expect.
Ooh.
On Overland Road, right behind the Silverstone Plaza, there is an entire neighborhood that is mid-century modern where they have built your houses, right? Garages with windows in them. There is like weird wood paneling mixed with like modern like.
Is there a lot of like low roofs with high glass with rock mixed into wood and okay.
They have like the flat roofs in certain areas
like
with
prairie style roof.
with like a peak of like weird window glass on the front of these things.
Dane,
Speaking my language. Well, I have to have you know.
Sweat.
So sorry, allergies had a watery eye. So it's just so beautiful.
Where's this neighborhood?
Okay, so not to be a huge nerd, but I did spend a good chunk of my Saturday watching multiple documentaries, one of which was just like a 2-hour thing about Frank Lloyd Wright, among other things. So for those who know, he's pretty much like America's most famous architect.
America's.
Camericas. Any rate.
I think you mean America.
Yeah. So, very fascinating story about the guy, but his architecture makes a lot of sense after you hear kind of his personal story. So, he's responsible for why a lot of like modern style houses look the way they do, except when he started, he was doing it in literally like the early aughts of the 1900s, like very early. And 30s houses that look like they're straight out of the 60s.
Dane, my dad is a Frank Lloyd Wright historian.
Okay, good. Then he knows.
So I grew up with everything
and
that
see,
has
that's
to do
the
with
thing,
Frank Lloyd Wright. So
for people
totally
who nerd out about this stuff,
where
you get it.
You and my dad could have a conversation that would span the ages.
And like to other people, it just right over the head. Yeah. I get it, but at the same time, if you know, you know. But yeah,
my dad goes on vacation to only look at Frank Lloyd Wright properties.
The most famous one, if anybody's curious, just type in falling water into Google.
My dad has visited all of his homes.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Weird.
That's his thing.
Like Taliesin or anything. Yeah. But yeah, there's some super fascinating
stuff. He brings home
stuff.
Magnets of every place, too.
Well, it sounds like you're a little tired of it.
But I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want you to check out this neighborhood.
But that's always been like a passion of mine.
Maybe today, go check this out, right? Apparently, because I went to do a Craigslist deal, right? I'm not trying to take your story away from you, but
no,
I went there to go pick up this TV stand thing. Yeah. And I'm going through this neighborhood. I'm like, oh my God, this is like Dane's dream, right? Minimalist yard, right? Almost nothing to maintain. It's like
concrete.
It's like rock with like a little bit of like shrubbery and grass.
I like nature involved in like the home and everything, but I don't want to have to maintain it. Is that too much to ask? Probably.
Yeah, and so, but kind of like all these garages that were all like weirdly decked out with like extra glass and stuff like that. Some weird wrought iron structures, and it was all just this crazy stuff. And I'm like, what in the heck? I'm like, this is like Dane's dream. And so they do have like a community pool, but I pull up to this guy's house and I say, hey, man, cool neighborhood. He's like, yeah. He's like, they just started building these like this year. Apparently it's 2 builders that are both like some mid-century modern freaks, right?
I'm guessing one of them is Roth.
That did, yes.
See, I had a hunch.
That did some collaborative effort to build these homes, right? And they said it's a very strict policy because they have a certain aesthetic that they're going for, and they made it to where all of these yards are easy to maintain, so people could basically enjoy.
It sounds like I know where I got to move next.
So it's like basically so they can enjoy the they can enjoy the experience of being in the home. Right. And I'm like, that's a weird way to explain it, right?
That's a way to explain it to me. I'm just going signing.
Dane is literally drooling. He is drooling.
But then he like opened the door. He opened like from the inside of his garage to the inside of his house, and I was like looking in there, and I'm like, oh my God, Dane would die, right? I'm like, basically, I'm like, all they need to do is throw in some furniture with this thing, and this is like a done deal.
Oh man.
And so really nice houses. And this particular garage this guy had, he's like, and the cool part about it, he's like, you get all like the benefits of having kind of like that newer look, but he's like the amenities, right, of having the room. He's like, and it's weird because these houses don't look like they're that big, but then you get inside of them and he's like, and they blow up. And so his car, like he had a 5-car garage, and I'm like, how that? And it didn't even look like a 5-car garage, right? Yeah. I'm like, that's amazing. And so
he's just speaking my language right now. I'm just in love with this.
Like I have to go over there and just sell your house.
I had no idea about this place, but I want to go look.
The only downside is the houses are closer together to each other,
right? And that's always been one of the tougher things for me. It's like I don't want to be right next to neighbors, but for the right house, I could come.
Yeah, Dane sold his house and moved in over there.
But so now here's the kicker, right?
They're probably all hellaciously expensive.
Yes, so that's what I'm okay. So that's when we get to.
Well, I don't have to worry about it.
So I asked him. I said, "So how does this work?" He's like, "Basically, you don't get to choose your street, right? You choose the house that you want, right? And they don't want to have all the same house on the same street. So they said they will place that house somewhere in the neighborhood, and that's where you end up." He's like, but
interesting.
He's like, it's
very developer way
He said
of doing
it sucks that you don't have any say in it for like what you're getting, but like everybody's happy because it's such a nice neighborhood that nobody cares. But anyway, he said that he's like, yeah, they're about 500,000, and I was like, okay, I'm like,
little out of my range.
Like starting 500,000, right? And
that's for the bargain basement box special.
So that's for the bargain basement. And the one, because I asked him, I said, hey, I went past this one that had wood paneling, like around like the front garage, right, which had some weird structure thing to it. He's like, oh yeah, that's like $1 million. And I was like, oh my God. And so we're talking Overland and Silverstone, Levi. That was a field.
That was 20 years ago. That was a field. No one drove out there unless you were going to go find a party in a farmer's yard.
That is
like it is absolutely insane that people build houses in those areas
growing
and then
like crazy.
Charge that amount for Overland and Silverstone, which
and
is
people
Meridian.
Will buy it.
Well, and I was telling the guy, I said, hey, when I went to high school, like right over there, this was just a field. He's like, that's what everybody has been saying. I'm like, I don't think you realize.
It was a garbage dump. It wasn't a field. It was a garbage dump.
Dude, I'm like, I don't think you realize. Like, so my high school, right, was in between a cornfield, right? When they first built Mountain View,
they literally
there was
built it out there.
on the left and on the right, and then behind it. So that's all you had was cornfields.
Yeah.
And it was this weird, big, nice school. And then they started developing everything. And so now you have these weird coves. Dude, I don't even know how many new subdivisions are in Idaho. I can't even imagine.
So
but
many.
Dane, drive over there.
I know.
I would say just get out and walk around because I think each house is interesting enough to where I think you'll just like to look at them.
Oh no, for new development, like that would be my jam. I'm still hell bent on finding a house that is built on a hillside.
You and Liz go Express Cafe, get some donuts, get some coffee, cruise on over there in the Jag.
Yeah,
hop out. Just go for a walk. You're going to be.
Oh no, the Jag would fit right into that neighborhood.
Well, see, that's the funny thing about this is, ever since I got the Jag, I actually felt less weird about rolling through the neighborhoods whose houses I like to look at, because if you drive around in like a little beater Miata or Dodge Ram 1500, people looking, I see these neighborhood watch signs all the time, and I'm like, I swear I'm not the person you're thinking I am. I just want to look at the houses, not look in the house. I just want to look at the houses.
Yeah.
And you're cruising through, and you could just like feel somebody probably peering through their blinds. Drive around in the Jag, nobody gives it a second thought. They're like, must be a new neighbor.
Yeah. Levi, this weekend, what do you knock out?
What'd you do?
I detailed a car.
Ooh.
Yeah. Had a buddy of mine's Range Rover. Just in for what I like to call my $300 option.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Well, if it's not in your shop, it's in the shop.
Is that Uno? Is that
Uno Protect? A little bit of bead maker.
Ooh.
And then a quick interior cleanup on it.
Okay.
Easy $300 and something that's fun to do.
Great gig.
Dirtiest thing on that Range Rover, it's a Range Rover Sport, was the wheels.
Really?
2016.
Okay, so it's one of the newer
one of the newer ones.
Yeah.
550 horse supercharged.
Oh yeah, the healthy ones. It's basically got the same engine as my Jag.
So, but did that, got that cleaned up, and then I've got a 4Runner coming in this weekend. A friend of mine from school bringing their 4Runner in. So just a kid I grew up with. So Gonna do that, and then next week got another truck that I have to do. So fully booked, probably till the end.
You
of
get
Halloween.
a lot of trucks and SUVs, or do
yeah,
you
it's
get
just
more cars, or is it just how it works?
It's just the neighborhood and what people bring and what they want to do. But very simple, easy weekend. We didn't do much. Got the house more decorated for Halloween. Got that looking as best as we can. We got gravestones now.
I'm jealous, man.
Out front.
I don't got crap in front of my
once
house.
Once you have children, it's you and the child that will get to fight Katie on the
I want some spooky stuff. I do.
I think you'll be there someday.
I want that.
So, but this was all Augie. Augie planned out where those gravestones go, where the things were. We took the kids and got some pumpkins.
What are they going to be this year?
Hadley and Carly are going to be witches. Augie is debating between the Grim Reaper or a skeleton.
Oh, he'd be a cute skeleton.
I mean, he could be the Grim Reaper if he's just puts on the skeleton deal and then puts on a robe.
Really wants to be the Grim Reaper. And he wants like a super scary mask.
So do the skeleton, but then put the robe on.
And he wants to have a tearaway so he can surprise people that it's him. Like he's very excited about that.
He's like, I know you're scared right now, but it's just
me.
They're not going to know it's a kid in here.
They're going to think it's
we're going to put him on stilts.
And then he wants me to be the same.
The 3-foot Grim Reaper, is out here.
Look out.
He's just sitting there. He's like, I get the little ones. And you're like, whoa, okay.
So we're looking at costumes. It's hard to find one in his size that he wants. Because he's kind of in between. But did that. And then the Suburban, I had a couple tears, big tears in the seat. Yeah. And that was something that I was trying to, we reached out to our friends at Color Lock, told Ram and Lars, hey, I've got these tears in here. I want to actually work. Now, one of the things is we have the actual training kit.
The gun.
The repair kit.
The gun. Yeah. We have the spray gun. We have
everything.
Airbrush, yeah.
I mean, they brought it for the training, and then they've kept it here, and the only request is keep it full and send the gun and the sprayer whenever we need it, when we can get back to the U.S. to do trainings.
The Suburban interior is very light. It's actually like the lightness of this table here.
Yeah, it's a very tan leather.
So it shows a lot when it cracks.
So there's a picture of what it looks like if you guys go to the Rag Company YouTube channel.
That is
so
fixable.
Those are two huge cuts in the leather. So that is after heavy cleaner.
Yeah.
I used strong cleaner. I used strong cleaner and the Color Lock brush, scrubbed the seat really well, cleaned it up. Then the next slide, I used their solvent cleaner. I was moving the phone, so I apologize for the motion. But used solvent cleaner, which is another one, to clean and prep the seat to make sure there's no oils or anything left in it. You can see the tear towards the front of the seat a little better. So once I got that, then I put in what's called Glue-Tex. Set that Glue-Tex underneath with the shiny side up, which is where the glue is.
Yeah.
Then what you do is you take that heat and you heat the little silicone puck there with your heat gun, get it nice and hot, and then you press it down onto the tear. And what it does is it transfers that heat to the glue, melts the glue, and the glue sticks to the underside of the leather.
Fuses it.
So once those were done, I sealed all those. Then I put in
Leza filler.
So that's the Leza filler, leather filler. And I basically smoothed everything down, filled the main cracks with the leather filler, and then
Are you sanding on that bad boy?
Well, so I'm letting that sit and dry. So here I heat gunned it, and I'm letting it sit at home all day today.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's
really bonding.
Yeah. So it's gonna sit and bond without anybody sitting on it or crushing it or anything like that. I'm just gonna let it sit all day. So it should have almost a good 24-hour cure time.
Gotcha.
So tonight my goal is to sand it. So I'll sand the seat.
Yeah.
Get everything looking fresh again, and then I'm going to mix up some paint tonight. Try my hardest to mix it up, and then I'm gonna shoot it and get it.
You're gonna airbrush it.
Try and get it all dyed so that it's ready to go. And then tomorrow, hopefully we can reveal it when we do our live polishing job that we're going to do on the Suburban. So
that should be fun.
But that was the goal. I've been meaning to get at that. I just haven't done it. And I want to really get into doing a little more leather repair and restoration. And so why not? Perfect seat to do it because I got to sit on it and wear it and do all that stuff.
I'm thinking that when Lars and Ram do come someday, right, we're going to yank that front seat out again of my truck, We're gonna shoot that green off.
Oh, please!
Yes.
We're gonna re-dye those dang seats, and we're gonna make them look a lot nicer than what they are, because that green kills me now whenever I get inside there, because the interior is looking good.
Yeah,
finally.
Well, we could mix up some gray, and we could just spray it on ourselves. We could just do it ourselves here on a day.
I don't trust myself to do that. I don't have the accuracy.
We'll figure out. We'll make a color.
I remember when I was spraying that steering wheel, I had a little bit of I don't really know some discharge coming from out of the gun, and it didn't look right. And so I would rather have Ram do it or Lars do it. And also perhaps maybe go get myself a wood grain bezel. Right?
I love that. I love that idea.
Fancy.
I think that'd look good.
Yeah.
In my ZJ, so my old Jeep, right?
Oh,
I
that
had
is
a black,
throwback.
cracked, like the guy had put like duct tape to like hold the bezel on. I just took the bezel off, went down to the junkyard, found me one out of a ZJ that had wood grain. Beautiful.
Yeah.
$5, put it on there. People were like, wow, this looks like an up model trim level.
Yeah.
Right? People are going to look at that and go, is that a Lariat?
The
Is that
first
a Bighorn?
The SLT, baby. Yeah. I don't even know if it's an SLT. It's a Tradesman.
The first Suburban we had in my family, the first Suburban was in 1988 or 89. And it was a Western Trailers conversion.
Oh,
so it had
the pop-up roof,
full
had the
burgundy interior with a burgundy
roof?
And silver two-tone exterior. Had wood paneling all over. It had the slightly higher roof, and it had mood lighting built in
was
and
a
full
champion
stretch.
Of getting those
it
unicorns. He's a big Suburban man.
That burb felt so old school inside,
Western
just like
trailers.
rolling living room sofa kind of feel and look. It was. There's nothing else quite like it. But the other burb after that was very much more of a utilitarian workhorse. Yeah. But no, something about that cloth.
He went for the
in that first one was like that plush velour.
I could see a young Jeff Hennen with a high end Suburban, luxury Suburban.
It was a real change from we had an Illumina, a Eurosport. And an Astrovan,
nice,
a lot of GM vehicles, but no, that burb.
Yeah, your dad.
That was a special burb.
So your current Suburban that your dad has, he said is his fifth.
Oh yeah, well, and now of course he's not even in a
XL.
Chevy Suburban anymore. Now he's moved on to the Yukon Denali, so it's a little different now.
XL though.
Yeah, he's got the big boy because he's got to have still that Suburban feel.
He just loves a Suburban.
He just loves it.
That.
He would rather have that than a pickup truck any day, every day.
That's what he drives.
And that's just how he is. He likes the enclosed space.
I know, but Jeff doesn't have a problem putting a pallet in the back of a Yukon.
He will throw anything you would put in a pickup truck. He will put it in the Suburban, or at least attempt to.
And it haunts me. He was that guy. That
you're gonna scratch.
He brought the Suburban one day, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to help me put some stuff in it." We open it up. There was dirt in the back,
straight up. He had put a tarp with like actual bark.
He didn't put a tarp. It was just dirt and bark.
Oh no, he would move dirt and bark with a tarp.
I went to Zamzow's and got a load for the back, and I was like. Like they just dump it in like a pickup bed kind of thing. Like how did you get?
I don't know how
to
tell you, but your Suburban sees some.
It's like we just shoveled it in.
He's that guy when I would help help people load at Lowe's, right? And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we got a guy picking up a pallet of brick or rock or whatever it was."
Roll his truck around.
Roll your truck around, and I'd be on the forklift and I'd be pulling around, and I would see some type of Suburban, right? And I would say. So do you just want to just hand stack this? No, Pat will go right in. And I say, I don't know.
Well, in terms of the Suburban with the barn door option that Ragnarok has, very easy to do.
Yeah.
The other ones with the flip up, no.
My dad has always explicitly gotten the two barn doors.
It was a barn door situation. And so I would drive this thing in, and I'd be like, oh my God, it's hitting the plastics, right?
Yeah.
Just keep going. Yeah, you're good. Okay, drop it. All right, nice. Okay, cool. Right now, just push it in. Because I would take the forks, right? And I would go on the actual wood pieces. I'd kick the forks in, and I would press it and slide it in on the carpet,
like
right?
angle it
as it is just.
Oh my God!
I would say, "Good God, man! Good best of luck to you, sir."
And they didn't complain. They're like, "Yep, that's what I wanted."
Didn't care. It's exactly what they wanted. They loved it.
Yeah. Your dad still does that. He's got the WeatherTech liners, and he has the WeatherTech line. I still have that original WeatherTech.
But unlike a lot of people, he actually uses and abuses those things. He really puts them to the test. Yeah, but
it terrifies me. It really does. It's haunting.
But you know what? There's something to be said about someone who
Jeff
actually
Hennen,
uses their stuff the way it was
wore
intended.
out.
Yeah.
As the second owner of the vehicle, Jeff Hennen was, that seat had a lot of his butt sitting in it.
Yep.
A lot of wear and tear. And in the year and a half that I've owned it, 2 years that I've owned it now, those spots have started to just break free from me hopping in. So figured, needs to.
That's what happens, man, when you hop in a big old truck.
Yeah, well, something about driving a big block.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty much all we got for this week, Dane.
One thing I wanted to touch on just before we left here was you briefly mentioned polishing the Suburban.
Starting my own podcast?
Polishing the Suburban.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us about that, please?
Well, so one of the things we need to do is, one, polish the vinyl on the Suburban because, you guys saw a couple weeks ago the video that was posted, that I posted of us coming down the hill.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we scratched the ever-living snot out.
There's a much
vinyl.
bigger video that helps explain why.
It's very bad. But one of the things that we're going to try to do, so if you're listening to this tonight, hopefully, tomorrow on Wednesday, we are going to be live broadcasting via YouTube and Facebook. Basically, Anthony and I polishing the Suburban. Dane is going to be kind of giving color commentary. We're going to throw back to him in the studio. Yep. He's going to be sitting here at the desk, which is hopefully should work out really well. But we're going to try some stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of our thing. We want to see if we can do like, hey, let's go back to the guy in the studio, Dane, and Dane can be like, hey guys, wow, really great. I can't believe that. We're
going to be pushing this building more to its limits.
Answer some questions maybe for some folks that are popping up on the screen, and vice versa. We're going to try something very big,
new and different.
What are we going to be using to polish out that old wrap?
I don't know. We're going to play with it. We got to see because I don't know what's going to take it out.
Micro cut, maybe a little bit of last cut, maybe
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of hyper polish.
We'll see what's going to come out.
Maybe we throw some Uno 1 on there. Some not Uno Protect, but Uno.
I was going to say 1-1.
Uno Pure. Yeah,
we could try that. We'll see whatever comes out the best. But if you guys ever wondered about polishing vinyl, we're actually going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to find that very interesting.
So
yeah,
go to the Rag Company page. Make sure you've got your notifications set either on YouTube or on Facebook as well. So when we go live, you're notified.
We're going to simulcast, or at least attempt to. We haven't tried it before, so we'll find out. But if one works and the other doesn't, just hop over to one that's working and let us know that the other's not.
Yep.
And if they're both working, then it's all going according to plan.
There we go.
All right, so we've got that knocked out. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And before we go, I got to say it. I got to do it. That's folks. The FAQ channel, the Rag Company FAQ channel, is where you can find short, succinct, to-the-point videos answering your detailing and product-related questions, or maybe just about cleaning in general. You never know, but check them out. You're going to find answers to stuff you didn't even think to ask, but you go, I did want to know that. I just didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the FAQ channel is for. So click that red subscribe button, make it say subscribed, and we'll be well on our way. All right, give them the D. Moving on. Guys, thank you so much. Gals, thank you so much. We will catch you later this week.
See you guys.